Let me tell you how I started and how I'm already over halfway there. Dogecoin. I'm kidding. For the last 10 months, I've been making some big boy moves with my money, and today I'm going to share my plan to save $100,000. But before I do, I'm going to grab a chair because this is getting awkward. The story starts in January of 2020 when I moved from Texas to Michigan using a credit card and money I borrowed from my parents, which was actually more than $2. It's just I don't carry cash. Anyway, months later I was given thousands of dollars to cover that move, and apparently I spent it all because I had nothing left. And for the next 6 months I lived paycheck to paycheck. But then came the big boy money moves. If you're new here, welcome, and my name is Mark Neal, and I talk about money on this channel because it's not talked about enough at my age, and that is when it's the most important to talk about. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Thanks, and let's begin. I of course have an emergency fund with $14,000 in it. There was $15,000, but I used $1,000 of it for my Roth IRA, which I'll talk about later. But anyway, this emergency fund was the first thing I started saving for when I started being smarter with my money. And it was actually really stressful building up that emergency fund because I was always looking at it and trying to find ways to save more money so I could put into it. There would be days when I would spend hours going back and forth between my budget and my emergency fund. And if you don't have an emergency fund, I highly recommend that you start one because this was really what got my money rolling. It gave me a lot more confidence, and it made me develop really good money habits. And speaking of good money habits, I also have a 401k, which is a retirement account that I have been putting money into since I started working in February of 2020. That is currently at $21,812.74. So if you can put money into a 401k through your employer, and if they offer a match, put at least whatever they will match. And speaking of match, do you guys think Logan Paul can actually beat Mayweather? Anyway, I really believe in saving for my retirement, so apart from the 401k, I also started a Roth IRA about 2 to 3 months ago. The max you can put into a Roth IRA is $6,000 for 2020, and with only 2.5 months, I didn't have a lot of time, and $6,000 in 2 months unexpectedly is a lot of money for me. But I found a way to do it, and in my Roth IRA, I have $6,219.90. Funny story, when I first put money into the Roth IRA, I put $200 in for 2021 before I realized I could still put money for 2020. And I learned a lesson that day. And speaking of lessons learned, I recently learned that I'm not invincible. And so I also started a health savings account, or an HSA, earlier this year. That is currently at $450. This is another thing I recommend you put money into because we will always have healthcare costs. If not now, then for sure in the future, unfortunately. And it also comes with good tax benefits, so look into HSAs. Finally, the last place I keep money for now is Robinhood. Before, I should have been investing in individual stocks. I started investing in individual stocks, and that was through Robinhood. That is currently at $13,000. Honestly, half of that is Dogecoin, which I used to pronounce as Dogecoin, but apparently that's not the way to say it. Anyway, I've put $50 into it, and that's worth like $8,000 now, so that's pretty cool, and I'm not complaining. And even though the money in my Robinhood could go down, it could also go up, so I'm going to leave this total at $13,000.
The next day.
And with that being said, the total is $55,482.64. This is the first time I really sat down and looked at how much money I've been saving up, and seeing that money made me realize that you haven't smashed the like button, and I would really appreciate it if you did. It also makes me realize that I'm already over halfway to my $100,000 goal, and I've only been smart with my money for about 10 months. That's one of the perks of
Small loan of $1 million.
having an engineering salary, but not spending an engineering salary. So with money I have now, I still need $44,517.36 to reach $100,000, and this is where the plan begins. That plan is to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'll go into the details that nobody asked for. As you guys saw, most of that money is in retirement accounts. I'm going to put about $1,267 a month into my 401k, which actually isn't nearly as much as I'm allowed to put in. So maybe I should raise that. And of course, I'm going to max out my Roth IRA again. And for 2021, that would be $6,000 for the year, or $500 a month. I'm also going to keep putting $100 a month into my HSA, and I've got this cool benefit with my company where they give me $1,500 if I go do my annual physical, which I would do anyway, and I encourage everyone to do that. And of course, I won't put all of my money into retirement accounts because that would be irresponsible. I'm also going to put money into regular brokerage accounts. Right now, I just use Robinhood, but honestly, I may have to claim my 2 free stocks when I deposit $100 into Webull with Graham Stephan's link or something like that. Whatever brokerage accounts I choose, I plan on putting $1,500 a month into them, and you know, maybe I'll even YOLO $100 into Robinhood or something. And finally, the last way I can make money is by you smashing the like button. Okay, the real last way I can make money is through a bonus at work, which isn't guaranteed, but it'll probably be about $6,000. Most of the money I talked about is going to be invested, but because it's not a whole lot of money, and as you'll see in a second, it's not a whole lot of time, I'm just going to pretend that it's not going to gain or lose anything. And finally, if we add it all up and do a little bit of math, we can see that I will reach $100,000 in about 13 months. I will be 23 years old. And this is assuming that I don't find another way to make money, which I'm currently working on. So this was a really eye-opening video to make, and I encourage everyone to do something similar. You don't have to make a video about it, but figure out your plan to make $100,000. They say the first $100,000 are the hardest.
Spicy.
And to get to the $100,000, you'll have to learn about personal finance, so make sure you check out some of these videos.